Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Udonis Haslem gives profane response to Brian Scalabrine's Heat accusation. Udonis Haslem may now be retired, but that is still not stopping him from going at the Boston Celtics. Brian Scalabrine, a former Celtics player who now serves as a commentator for the team, made a big-time accusation against the Miami Heat and head coach Erik Spoelstra after Game 1 of the Celtics Heat playoff series Sunday. Scalabrine took exception to a perceived dirty play by Miami's Caleb Martin on Boston's Jayson Tatum and accused Spoelstra of telling his team to injure Tatum. The retired ex-Heat big man Haslem was incensed about Scalabrine's accusation and let him know about it on Monday. "Shut yo sucka up," wrote Haslem in an Instagram comment, profanity edited by LBS. Martin got pushed. Brian weak. Indeed, the video of the play showed that many had missed a push by Celtics guard Jrue Holiday to the back of Martin on the play that ultimately led to the contact with Tatum. Even famed Celtics homer Bill Simmons cited the Holiday push as the cause of the whole thing and said that Martin did nothing dirty. As for Scalabrine, he was pretty far off base with his accusation, especially against a very highly respected longtime head coach in Spoelstra, and one who will be coaching Tatum as an assistant on the USA basketball circuit this summer. Scalabrine has since walked back his controversial remarks, albeit not entirely. As for Haslem, he had plenty of history with the Celtics during his playing career, including multiple heated playoff battles. Scalabrine now becomes the latest ex-Boston player that Haslem has targeted with sharp comments. Charles Barkley makes strong claim after Celtics Heat Game 1. If you ask Charles Barkley, championship or bust might be putting it mildly for the Celtics this postseason. Boston ripped through the regular season, securing the Eastern Conference's #1 seed with ease while posting the NBA's best record. And the Celtics looked every bit like the league's elite Sunday when they stomped on the Miami Heat in Game 1 of the team's first-round series. Barkley was asked to share a takeaway from the matinee matchup at TD Garden, and the Basketball Hall of Famer couldn't have been any clearer about his expectations for the C's. "The Celtics are gonna win the World Championship," Barkley said on TNT. "They've been the best team in the NBA all year. Man, they're gonna be tough to beat. They got everything you need. I'll be totally shocked if they don't win the championship. I look at Denver in the West. It's the one team that I believe can compete with them. But if the Boston Celtics don't win the championship, it would be a total gag job." The final note from Barkley might be a tad strong, as it wouldn't be the worst look for the Celtics if they lost the finals to the Nuggets in a long, hard-fought series. But Boston has absolutely no excuse to not at least reach the league's biggest stage, and any exit short of it would be a massive failure for Joe Mazzulla's group. The Celtics now are 11 wins away from securing a second finals appearance in 3 years. Boston will try to cut that number down to 10 on Wednesday when it hosts Miami for Game 2. Miami Heat received devastating news on Jimmy Butler's knee injury. Sunday afternoon at TD Garden, the Boston Celtics jumped out to a 1-0 series lead in a first-round rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Finals. The hosts put together a dominant two-way performance for 36 minutes, taking a 91-59 lead into the final frame before easing off the gas. Even with Boston committing 6 turnovers in the fourth quarter, which the Miami Heat parlayed into 13 points, and missing multiple attempts at the rim, the visitors never pulled within single digits. A day after losing the series opener 114-94, Shams Charania reported on Run It Back on FanDuel TV that the knee injury that kept Jimmy Butler from participating in Sunday's matchup is a severe MCL sprain. Charania added, "He is not going to be back in this series. This is a rehab that's gonna go at least 1 month, it could be 2 months of rehab." In the regular season, the Heat registered a plus 214-point differential with the 5-time All-NBA selection on the court. That figure plummeted to minus 89 with him off the floor. But as Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla noted on the eve of Game 1 while discussing how Miami adapts without its star forward, anytime someone's out, other guys are going to take on the responsibility of playing, so their DNA is still the same. Their team might look a little bit different, but their DNA is still the same. Still, the defending Eastern Conference champions were already underdogs this time around. Butler's absence extending the duration of this series steepens the challenge of prevailing in a best-of-7 against the team with the most talented top 6 in the NBA. The Miami Heat are once again calling their shot. Andy Slater of Fox Sports 640 South Florida reported on Friday that the Heat, who are playing the Chicago Bulls in the second Eastern Conference play-in game later in the day, have already booked a flight to Boston, per FAA records. The Heat are scheduled to fly to Boston at 1 p.m. local time Saturday, Slater notes. The implication is that the Heat are fully expecting to defeat the Bulls on Friday, which would set up a first-round playoff matchup against the rival Boston Celtics. The first game of that series would be on Sunday. Against Chicago, Miami will be without their leader Jimmy Butler, who suffered a concerning knee injury in the first play-in game against Philadelphia, and top trade deadline acquisition Terry Rozier, who is dealing with neck spasms. But their confidence clearly has not waned one bit. Indeed, the Heat still have to be feeling good about their chances as they played 22 games without Butler during the regular season and are famous for having unheralded role players step up in big moments, especially come the postseason. Plus, if this flight move seems familiar for Miami, that is because it is. They did the exact same thing in last year's playoffs too. Jimmy Butler appears to be going through it right now. The Miami Heat star Butler suffered a potentially season-ending injury in Wednesday's play-in game against the Philadelphia 76ers. On a breakaway opportunity in the first quarter, Butler faked the shot and got 76ers guard Kelly Oubre up in the air. Though Butler succeeded in drawing the foul, he got tangled up with Oubre and fell awkwardly to the ground, twisting his right knee, video here. On Thursday, it was revealed that Butler, who remarkably still played the final 3 quarters against the 76ers, suffered an MCL injury on the play. He has already been ruled out for Friday's second play-in game against Chicago, and the timeline beyond that doesn't sound encouraging either. In an Instagram comment later in the day Thursday, Butler sent a sharp message to Oubre over the play. At Kelly Oubre, we throwing hands, Butler wrote. It is entirely possible that Butler was joking around there, as he is known for his banter on social media and just generally being a troll. But it is unclear if he has that kind of relationship with Oubre, whom he was never teammates with and is not even his NBA contemporary. Butler entered the league many years before Oubre did. In any case, there is probably some very real frustration on Butler's part right now. He led the Heat on one of the greatest underdog playoff runs ever last season, bringing them to the NBA Finals as a number 8 seed out of the play-in tournament, with countless memorable moments along the journey. But thanks to that MCL injury, it seems Butler's season is now over before he even got a chance to play in a single playoff game this year. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation of Jimmy Butler? Leave your opinion in the comments.